Also, it's also very easily visible because this L is highlighted, this 8 is also highlighted. It basically makes your job easier. Okay, now I'm sure all of you know at least this much कि अच्छा भाई wherever I place my cursor, this address updates. Okay, now most of you know how to use a formula, okay, but a lot of you do not know how to use relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference. Okay, now what does this mean? Now, very simply, let's focus on this particular thing right here. Okay? Don't worry about these three things. We'll come to this in just 1 second. But let's focus on this thing right here. Okay. Now, very simply, this is column A, this is column B, and I want to write the product of A and B. Okay. So in this particular cell, I'm sure that everybody can see very clearly all of these numbers and all of these numbers. I hope this is visible very clearly to everyone. These things. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Okay. So, ठीक है, चलो, let's get started. Okay. So in this cell, if I want to write the product of this and this, okay. So how do we start? Now I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but still then, how do we start? Correct. So I'm going to start any formula with an equal to. Perfect. Okay. So any formula starts with an equal to. Okay. And see, this is where the first person made the mistake. Okay. This is where the first person made the mistake. And this is why I'm saying I want to start from the very basics. Okay. Now somebody just mentioned that what I should write here is I should write 1 into 10. Okay. Now they did not say anything wrong at all. They did not say anything wrong at all. Okay. But is this the right approach? Okay, this is what I want to point out. Okay, this is not the right approach. Why? Because sure, I can do this. Okay, sure, I can do this and it will give me the right answer. But if I change this thing right here, is that going to give me the right answer? Okay, it is not going to give me the right answer. Okay, so the correct way to approach this is not to use these values, but to use references. Okay, so instead, what should I have written here? I should have done is equal to, I should go to this cell, okay, and then multiply by this cell. Okay, it's very easy to understand because see, B5 is blue in color, C5 is also red in color. Okay, press enter. Okay, the best part about this is now if I change this particular value, let's say I put it as 7. Okay, automatically this thing updates. Okay, now here's the first formula that comes that I'm sure even mid or advanced level users also do not know. Okay, so what formula am I talking about? Okay, so चलो अब मैंने यहाँ पे 70 तो लिख दिया, but in order to see what is the formula, you have to click on it and then you have to see this formula bar. Okay, so here's a much simpler way in order to always see the formula. Okay, and the formula here that I'm talking about is equal to formula text. Okay, is equal to formula text. Now what does formula text do? Refer it to any formula, okay, and then close it, and then you will always be able to see what is the formula that we have written. Okay, now have we started with something new? I'm pretty sure even the mid and the expert level people did not know this formula. Right? This was new. I can only see people are saying new, new, new. All right, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so guys, like I said, that even though some of you may be advanced level players, but still then a lot of things are going to be very new for you. Okay, I do see some of you saying that you already knew it, but that's perfectly fine. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now the second thing that I want to show you here, the second thing that I want to show you here is, भाई एक बार फॉर्मूला लिख लिया, ठीक है, अब मुझे बार बार करना नहीं है, ठीक है, I don't want to do that again and again. Okay, so here comes the part of flash fill. Okay, or dragging and filling it. Okay, what does dragging and filling or flash fill do? Okay, now I have already put the formula right here. Okay, now I have to copy the same formula below it, and below it. Yes or no? Okay, so of course one thing that I can do is I can copy this and paste this. Okay, oh wow, this worked. Okay, this worked. Why? Because of course 2 into 20 is equal to 40. Okay, how do I see the formula again? I can just copy this, I can paste this right here. Okay, and clearly you can see कि अच्छा भाई ठीक है, what is the formula that I am referencing. Okay, but there's an even better way to do it. Okay, and what is the better way to do it? I can put my cursor right here. Okay, and see, I'm going to do this again and again, so everybody needs to pay attention. Okay, because I will be doing this again and again. Okay, now there are two things that you can do to basically fill the formula for this entire zone. Okay, it's going to fill the formula till the previous row has non-blank cells. Let me repeat. Okay, when I do a flash fill, it's going to keep filling till the previous row has non-blank cells. Okay, since this is the last non-blank cell, this is where it's going to stop. Okay, but if I had a cell here, it would continue down as well. Let me show you with examples. Okay, now how do we do that? Two ways. Okay, personally the way that I like to use is, this cursor right now is a white plus. Okay, go to the bottom right corner and you can see turning into a black plus. Okay, white plus, black plus. Okay, when it converts into a black plus, when you go to the bottom right corner, okay, just double click. Okay, and you can see that it automatically, the formula got converted. Okay, same thing right here also. Go to here, bottom right corner, double click and done. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now I know a lot of you were telling me the other formula. The other way of doing the same thing is to do this thing. Okay, let me repeat, guys, let me repeat. The other way to do the same thing is basically something like this. I can go to this bottom right corner. Okay, go to this bottom right corner, click. Okay, I have clicked. Okay, and now I am dragging it down. Okay, you will notice that there's a small border at the bottom which is pulling it down. Okay, so till the time that I've pulled it, it's automatically giving me the formula. Is that clear? Okay, so I have told you two things here. There is one more. I'll tell you that one more as well. Okay, the first thing is bottom right corner, double click, it will keep filling till the last non-blank cell. Okay, second, okay, second, bottom right corner, click, hold and drag. Okay, this is the second formula. And the third formula, which I can see a lot of you are telling me in the chat. Okay, the third formula is press shift. Okay, press shift, keep selecting the cells. Okay, see the first cell, where is my cursor? My cursor is on the first cell. Okay, press shift, keep selecting it down. Okay, and then control D. Okay, now I am on a Mac, so which is why I pressed command D. I am on a Mac, so which is why I pressed command D. Okay, but in Windows you will press control D. How to select cells? That's a good one. So for this, always remember shift S, select S. Okay, in order to select cells, okay, always keep pressing shift. All right, is that clear? Okay, now we are going to do this again and again. Okay, we are going to do this again and again. Okay, now this is what is called cell references. Okay, now this is what is called cell reference. Okay, so in this case we have multiplied B5 with C5. Okay, now second thing which I know a lot of you face issues with. Okay, now there is one thing which is important here. Okay, key in this case you will see I have just written B6, I have just written C5, whatever, B5 C5. Okay, so when I dragged it down, okay, see, look here. So right now I am in F2. When I went down, okay, I went to F3. Okay, so basically going down keeps the same column number but changes the row number. Okay, instead if I went to the right, okay, I am going from F2 to G2. This is important here, okay, because we are going to focus on this for a little bit. Okay, now let's focus on one more thing. Let's take this particular example. Okay, now here what I want is 1 should get multiplied with 10 and I want the result here. 2 should get multiplied by 10, I want the result here. 3 should get multiplied by 10 and I want the result here, and so on. Okay, so here of course we will do the same thing. This is equal to this multiplied by this. Okay, enter, and let me also use the formula text. Okay, pressing this right here. Okay, now I can only see people understanding what the problem is. Okay, but still then, because again a lot of us are still beginners, so let's focus on this right here. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so now if I drag the formula down, okay, why did this become 0? Why did this become 0? Okay, let's use the formula text to check out कि भाई ये 0 क्यों हुआ. Okay, so in this case now you will see, good one. Okay, everybody is able to catch it, but for those people who are not, let me explain that. Okay, so you now can see कि अच्छा, now what is doing कि अच्छा पिछला one was B14 into C14, so this is B14 into C14, this is okay. But the next one became B15 into C15. Now I did not want that. Okay, I did not want that. Okay, for this thing here I do want to go down. Okay, but for here, do I want to go down or do I want to lock my position? Okay, for here, do I want to go down or do I want to lock my position? Okay, correct. I want to lock my position. Okay, this here is important. Okay, this here is absolutely important. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now everybody is able to get it. But for those people who are again new at Excel, this is something new as well. Okay, so now I want to completely fix on this C14. Okay, now I want to go from C to D or C to B. Nor do I want to go from 14 to 15 or 15 to 13 or whatever. Okay, so in this case, what should we do? Okay, so this is where something called locking comes into picture, where we're going to lock cells. Okay, now what does locking a cell mean? Let's put this. Okay, so how do you lock a cell? You lock a cell by using the dollar sign. Okay, now you will notice that I've done something here. Okay, let me press enter. Okay, now you will notice I've done something here. Okay, what have I done? I've put the dollar before C and I've put the dollar before 14 as well. ठीक है, correct. I've put the dollar before C and I've put the dollar before 14. So putting the dollar before C means now C is no longer going to change. And putting the dollar before 14 means now 14 is also no longer going to change. Is that clear? Mr. Biswadev, see, you need to start attending the session, okay? And you need to listen to me because trust me, we're going to go to a lot of advanced stuff as well, okay? I understand this might be basic for you, but it's not basic for everyone else. So I would request anybody who's getting bored of this session to please pay attention. Okay, trust me, you're going to learn a lot more that you did not know before. All right, because even when I look at these comments that these are basic, this is this is that, I get extremely irritated. Okay, if I were to tell you, can you write a program in C++, you do not know how to write anything in C++. So like I said at the very beginning of the session, I am going to start from the basics. Okay, let's pay attention now. Comments like this make me really angry. Let's focus. Anyways, let's focus. Okay. Right, continue. Okay, now, so when I put a dollar before C, it means that C gets fixed and 14 also gets fixed. Okay, now I want to show you a couple of variations before we go ahead. Okay, now you will ask, okay, you will ask, sir, why did you not before B and 14 as well? Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's put it before B as well. Okay, and 14 as well. Okay, now what this means is that now this is also locked and this is also locked. So what does locking do? Okay, so what does locking do? Now if I drag this down, okay, sorry, if I drag this down, okay, this is not being helpful to me. Okay, what is the mistake and what do I want to change? Okay, what is the mistake and what do I want to change? Okay, clearly the mistake is that this answer should have been 20. Okay, this answer should have been 20. So locking this was correct, but I should not have locked this. Is that clear? Clear? Perfect. Okay. So how do I need to change my formula? Okay. Just change this thing and just change this thing. Okay. So now let me do this completely and then you will be easily able to understand. Okay, so now as you can see what we have done, okay, now as you can understand what we have done is when we lock a cell, okay, when we lock a cell, so even when you copy, paste or drag and do whatever, okay, that thing does not change, but everything else changes. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Now this was a very simple example. Okay. Now this was a very simple example. Somebody also raised a very good point. Ki why don't I fill this with 10? Okay. Of course, it's not going to look good. Okay. Of course, it's not going to look good. And sometimes you do not have the luxury of putting the values everywhere. Okay. So wherever you put the dollar sign, it gets logged. Okay. Now here is where this gets interesting. Okay. Now let's take an advanced example right here. Okay, now in this case, yes, of course you can use shortcuts also. People, so some of you are also mentioning me a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Yes, you are absolutely right. I could have used shortcut F4 here to cycle between this. Okay, so for example, just pay attention to this right here. Okay, so if I press F4 in Windows, or in case of Mac, I need to press Control T. Okay, so if I press F4, or sorry, not Control T, Command T. Okay, so in that case, you will see that this is now cycling, okay, between various formats. Okay, so initially no dollar sign, dollar between both, dollar before 15, dollar before B, and again no dollar. Okay, so you can basically very quickly do it instead of manually adding dollar signs. Okay, let's continue. Now, not understood which thing. Dollar sign is Yes, dollar means you are locking the cell. Okay, dollar means you are simply locking the cell. Okay, and it's just a shortcut. If you don't want to type dollar, if you don't want to type this dollar, okay, you can basically click on F4 or Command T. Okay, guys, don't worry. Let's focus here. Don't worry about the shortcut thing right now. Okay, now let's focus. Now let's focus. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, this, everybody please pay attention. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, now what I want to do in this particular table, and this is what will make your concept completely clear about referencing or about locking the cell. Okay, now in this cell I want to multiply this with this. Okay, in this cell I want to multiply this with this. Okay, and so on. I'm sure everybody has understood. Okay, everybody, let's focus. Okay, now how do I do that? Okay, so how do I do that? Is equal to this multiplied by this. Pretty simple. Yes, no, everybody please focus. Pretty simple. Okay, now what do I want to do? I basically want to copy and paste this formula. Okay, now I basically want to copy and paste this formula. Okay, but if I copy and I paste this formula, okay, you will notice that I've made a mistake. Okay, what is the mistake? Okay, what is the mistake? That the blue cell has shifted. Yes or no? Okay, I should multiply this with this. Okay, let me change the number so that it's a little bit easy. Okay, let's do this as let's do this as 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, let's focus. Okay, so let's put this also as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, all right, let's try this. Okay, right. So now when I see this right here, okay, so I should have gotten the value here as 600. Okay, right here I should have gotten the value here at 600. Okay, what is the issue? When I copied and pasted the formula, okay, this B24 changed to this C24. Okay, but I want this B value to be fixed. Yes or no? Okay. For each of this, I want the B value to be fixed. Okay. You will notice because this is B24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and so on. Okay. Now, same thing. Okay. Now, same thing. Okay. When I go here, okay, tell me what is fixed and what is changing. Okay. Tell me what is fixed and what is changing. Correct. 23 is fixed. Correct. 23 is fixed, but C, D, E, F are changing. Is that clear? Okay. Now, so what do you have to do? Okay. So what do you have to do? Very simple. Okay. Now, in this case, when I'm using this number, I want to lock P. Okay. But when I'm using this number, okay, I want to lock 23. As simple as that. Is that clear? As simple as that. Okay. Now let's do it. Okay. Now let's do it. Okay. So I will do is equal to, let's focus on this one first. Okay. But what do I need to lock? B or 24? What do I need to lock? B or 24? Correct. I need to lock only B. Okay. So I will put a dollar sign only before B. Okay. And let's multiply this. Okay. I want to multiply with this here. Okay. Now here the reference is C23. But what do I want to lock? Correct. Only 23. Perfect. Okay. So I'll only put the dollar before 23. Okay. So now very easily, whether I copy on the right side or where I copy on the bottom side, things are all perfect. Okay. You can check out any particular thing right here. Let's click on 2100. Okay. So on 2100, you will see that this is B26 into E23. Okay. So this is in fact B26. Okay. Into E23. Is that clear? I'll show this once again. I will show this once again. Don't worry. Okay. I'll show this once again. Okay. But I'll do this only once again. Okay. But then we will go ahead. All right. Let's do this once again. Okay. Now, very simply, what I want to lock this B column here. Okay. And I want to lock this 23 column here. Okay. So we'll do this is equal to B24 multiply by this thing. Okay. But right now I want to lock B. Okay, so dollar, okay, and this was 23, this was also dollar, as simple as that. Okay, so copy on the right, copy on the down, done. How simple was that? Clear? Okay, now of course this was pretty basic. Okay, this was pretty basic, but again I just wanted to ensure that all of us are on the right track, because when we go ahead I am going to use a lot of references. Okay, so which is why I want to ensure that everybody is on the same path. Is that clear? Yeah, of course you can use the formula text here also. Okay, see, let's say you want to start the formula text right here, so is equal to formula text. Okay, with this. Okay, so copy on the right, copy on the down, done. Clear? Clear? All right, let's go ahead. Okay, now let's go ahead. Can we get inline copy? Inline copy, what do you mean by inline copy? Let's go ahead till the time that we are discussing. Okay, now the next thing that I want to show you, okay, is freeze panes. Okay, is freeze panes. Okay, the file support team, please help Manjula with the file. Let's continue. Okay, now the next thing that I want to show you is freeze panes. Okay, again, I'm sure a lot of you know about it, but for those of you who do not know about it, your life is about to change. Okay, now, so if I go to the right hand side, so I have this data about Emily Davis. She is aged 18. If I go to the right hand side, okay, suddenly I don't know who am I to freeze pane. So suddenly I don't know whom am I talking about. Okay, or if I go a little bit down, okay, now suddenly I don't know what is this one for, what is this three for, what is this 16014 for. Okay, so I have no idea what all of these numbers are. Okay, so what would help me, okay, is if I can continuously see the names and if I can continuously see the headings. Okay, now how do we do that? Okay, so whenever you want to change how you see something, okay, so in that case what you need to do is you need to go to view. Okay, and in view you have something like this. Okay, somebody has already mentioned the right thing and somebody has also mentioned the keyboard shortcut for it as well. Okay, but again, like I said, we're going to go slow. So in the view tab you will see something called freeze panes. Okay, now in freeze panes there are a couple of options: freeze panes, freeze top row, freeze first column. Let me show you what all of this does. Okay, so when you click on freeze first column, okay, you will notice that suddenly a line has appeared between this A and B. Okay, you look that there's a line appear between A and B, but which is not present between B and C or C and D and so on. Okay, so what happens when you click on freeze first column? If you go to the right, okay, if you go to the right, you will see that now A column is always visible. Okay, now A column is always visible. Okay, but if I go down, the heading has still disappeared. Okay, the heading has still disappeared. Now, how do you remove this thing? Very simply, unfreeze panes. Okay, so that removes any sort of freezing that you have put in. Okay, now the other thing is, of course, freeze top row. Okay, you will see that now a line has appeared between 1 and 2. Okay, so now if I scroll down, you will see that the first row is always in view. Okay, so that now I know this yes, no is for attrition, this number is for distance, this is for education, this is for XYZ, and so on. Okay, now again, I know for a lot of you this is very basic, but I am pretty sure for a lot of you this is again something new as well. Okay, and finally, let's unfreeze these panes once again. Okay, my personal best. Okay, my personal best is of course this freeze panes thing. Okay, now why is this my personal best? Okay, and this is something that I use very regularly, and this is something we're going to use today as well. Okay, so don't worry, let me show you. Okay, so let's focus on where my cursor is. Okay, let's focus on where my cursor is. Okay, so let's say if my cursor is, let's say, right here. Okay, let's say my cursor is right here. Okay, the good question, I'm about to answer that as well, Parag. So my cursor is right here. If I click on just freeze panes, not top row, not first column, okay, just freeze panes. Okay, if I just click on freeze panes, now you will notice that a line has appeared right here and right here as well. Okay, so basically top left corner. Okay, before this and before this. Okay, now what is the benefit? Okay, now what is the benefit? That if I scroll to the right, up to column E is still visible. Okay, up to column E is still visible. And if I go down, up to column 9 is always visible. Okay, so now you always know these columns and this column. Okay, so basically wherever you put your cursor up till that point, that is frozen now. Okay, that is frozen now. When you go ahead, that still remains constant. Okay, now where do I personally use it? Okay, I always put it on basically B2. Okay, or in this case I should put it on C2. Okay, I should put it on C2. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on freeze panes. Okay, now when I go to the right, okay, the full name is always visible. Okay, and when I go down, the header is also always visible. Clear? Clear? Some people are saying amazing. Although guys, this is very basic, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be very useful. And I'm going to do this continuously again and again. Okay. All right. Shall we go ahead? Freeze panes, pretty simple. Nothing too complicated. We can go ahead with this. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Okay, let's continue. Okay, what is split? Okay, so what is split? So split basically splits this window into multiple. Okay, split basically splits this window into multiple. Okay, so let's say if I click on, let's say split. Okay, so you will see that now there are two windows. Okay, there is one window right here. There is one window right here, and there is one window which is right here. Okay, I personally don't use this a lot, not very helpful. Okay, all right, let's continue. Okay, now again, something very basic. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. The next thing is AutoSum. Pretty sure everybody knows about it. Okay, if you want to quickly add up something, let's say I want to add these up right here. Okay, I'm not going to waste too much time here. If you want to add all of these up right here, okay, so just select all of this, select the blank cell. Okay, select the blank cell, click on this auto sum. I'm pretty sure all of you know the shortcut as well, alt and equal to, but not that complicated. Okay, so auto sum, and that is done. Okay, I know a lot of you put in the effort ki acha bhai yahan pe you will put is equal to this plus this and so on. Okay, you don't have to do that at all, or you don't even have to write sum and then do this. Okay, just select all of this and the blank cell where you want the sum. Okay, click on this auto sum which is present on the home tab, click on this auto sum. Okay, and done instantly. Okay, now you can do this horizontally, you can do this vertically. Okay, you can do this vertically as well. Just again click on this auto sum. Okay, and boom, sum is right here. Apart from that, you can also do it horizontally and vertically at the same time. How can you do that? Okay, on the home tab you have this auto sum. On the home tab, auto sum. Okay, now uh shortcut, ignore, don't worry about the shortcut right now. Okay, do not worry about the shortcuts right now, ignore shortcuts right now. Okay, apart from that, you can do it horizontally and vertically as well. So for example, if I do something like this, okay, if I do this, okay, if I do this and if I press auto sum, where is the sum all going to go, or where is it going to add up? Okay, on the H column, perfect, on the right side, perfect. Okay, but if I do something like this, okay, and now if I press auto sum, where is it going to give me? Correct, in 16. Perfect. But, and here's the best part, if I do something like this, okay, then what do you think is going to happen? Let's do this. Okay, so in this case, now if I press auto sum, okay, everything gets filled up. Okay, everything gets filled up. Okay, doesn't this make your life only so much easier? Okay, so let me undo this. Let me show you this once again. Okay, if I just select this much and this is the blank part here, if I click on auto sum, only this part gets filled up. Okay, let's undo this. If I select all of this right here and and I select just this blank cell, click on this and instantly did this. Okay, let's remove this. And again, of course, if you select all of it, okay, and just do this and done. How simple is that? Oh, bottom right corner pe kya hai? So bottom right corner is basically the sum of all of this and all of this. And it anyways, it's going to be the same thing. Okay. The same thing, na? Arey, see, this thing is basically this thing, and this is also basically this thing. Right? So it doesn't really matter. Clear? Pretty simple, nothing too complicated. Okay. And not just numbers. Okay, not just numbers, you can add time as well. Okay, so here we have basically length in hours and minutes. Again, same thing, just select all of your data and the blank cell where you basically want this, if it's continuous, okay, and click on auto sum. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, nothing too complicated. So now we're going to move ahead. Is everybody clear? Again, guys, do not worry about the keyboard shortcuts right now. Personally, I also don't use a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Okay, I also don't use a lot of keyboard shortcuts. I am perfectly fine with using this. All right, let's continue. Okay, now again, now these are some of the functions which you will use on a very regular basis. Okay, so you should absolutely know how to use this. सबसे पहले total summing, everybody knows. Okay, summing everybody knows. Okay, so you can of course use this auto something that I just taught you. Okay, you can of course do this. Click on auto sum and burn instantly. Okay, but what about average, high, low, second highest and second lowest? Okay, now this is a little bit more important. Okay, so how do you get the average? Very simply, start typing is equal to average. Oh, median. Yes, of course, you can just start with median as well. Okay, so click on average, select the numbers. Okay, select the numbers and done. Okay, and of course, you can do the same thing right here. Now, I've already told you how do you flash fill it. Okay, bottom right corner, double click. As simple as that. Okay, let me put the formula right here. Formula text. Okay. All right, let's continue. Then we have high. Okay. So how do you get the maximum value out of a range? Okay. How do you get the maximum value out of a range? Very simply. So you have to very simply think of the words that you would think. Okay. Max, high. Oh, you want me to expand that? Okay. All right. Okay. Max, high, large, or something like that. Okay. But if you want the highest value or the maximum value, you just use max. Okay. Max, then you select the range and that is done. Okay. Similarly, for low, if for the highest one you need max, for the lowest one, obviously you need min. Okay. Obviously you need min. Select all of these. Okay. And you are done. Okay. Now, how do you get the second highest? Now here comes the trick. Okay. Now here comes the trick. Acha, how do you find the second highest? Okay. Now for that, okay. Now several times you will see कि अच्छा भाई I don't know a certain formula. Okay, and that happens with me as well. Okay, as we are going to go ahead, when we are going to discuss the newest Excel formulas, filter, unique, sort, XLOOKUP and all of that, okay, we will need the help of AI. Okay, so how do you find the second highest value in a range with the help of a formula? Okay, so if you do not know any particular formula, which happens a lot with me, just ask AI, how do I, or which formula in Excel should I use to get second largest value? Okay, as simple as that. And yes, it will happen to you several times. Okay, and here AI will tell you कि अच्छा ठीक है, if you want to do X, Y, or Z, just use this large. Okay, so now it also gives me an explanation कि अच्छा ठीक है, second returns the second largest value. Okay, so obviously if I want the third largest value, the only thing that I have to do is I have to substitute this for third. Okay, so now let's go back. No, it's a free version of Claude. It's a free version of Claude. Okay, so how do you get the second highest value? Is equal to, it told me the function is large. Okay, this is my selection. Okay, and since I want the second highest value, I will put 2. This gives me the second highest or second largest value, and done. Okay, similarly, how formulas are saving means, what is your question? Okay, and similarly, most likely if it was max and min, and if this is large, then oh, those formulas in the, I'm using this formula text, I'm using this formula text. Okay, this formula text. Okay, this is basically what is showing you the formula. Okay, so if this is large, then obviously this needs to be small. So I want the second smallest. So sorry, is equal to small. As simple as that. Okay, select your array. Okay, and since I want the second smallest value, I'll just put a 2 right here. Okay, and of course, now how do I put all the formulas? Select all of this and bottom right corner, double click and done. Is that clear? Clear, clear, clear. Badhiya, 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 badhiya. All right, let's continue. Okay. Now, somebody also mentioned me a couple of things. How do you select the smallest and highest large right here? That is basically conditional formatting. We are not going to do conditional formatting right now. That is not relevant right now. I want to show you more about formulas. Of course, conditional formatting, I'll show you how to find it out. But, we'll go ahead with this. Okay, let's continue. Now, trust me, now here you're going to learn something new. Second highest and lowest. For this, the formula has changed. For second highest and lowest, the formula has changed. Max only gives you the highest value. Okay, max or min always gives you the highest or the lowest value. But if you want the second highest, third highest, fourth highest, or whatever, you need to use large. Okay, comma 2 basically tells me second highest or second or third highest or fourth highest, whatever you want. Clear? All right, let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Now, so here, the next thing that we are going to do, if we have to do to have two max highest, you basically want the second highest and the third highest, or what? Yeah, I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in. Do you want to have the second highest or the third, well, and the third highest? How can you get the formula for AI? Because we cannot remember all the formulas. So this is practice. This is facts. Don't worry, I'll zoom in. Don't worry, I'll zoom in. Okay. So in this case, see, if you want second highest and third highest, na, okay. So in that case, just use is equal to but the same thing. Just put this instead of 2, just put this 3. That's it. Okay, just instead of 2, put this 3. So you'll get the second highest and the third highest. What is the sum of data given in these rows? No, no, it won't be different. It won't be different. Don't worry about it. Okay, Excel is really good at maths. Don't worry about it. Okay, now, okay, so I think we should copy the questions here. I think we can do this thing. Okay, all right. Now, so here is where, okay, now here is where when you zoom in, okay, when you zoom in, I think I need to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, everybody please focus. Now, so what are my questions here? Okay, so now, so here I'm going to teach you a couple of things in if, okay, and then we are going to add and or in if. How many of you have written nested ifs? How many of you have written nested ifs and think ki acha bhai kash I get a simpler way for this? Okay, kash I get a simpler way for this. Okay, so I will show you how you can have it in a much simpler way. Okay, so I'm going to freeze frame somewhere here. Okay, because I cannot see the question. Okay, I want to see the data and I also want to see the question. Okay, so what I'll do is now I'm going to click somewhere here and I'm going to go and I'm going to freeze panes. फायदा क्या हुआ? ठीक है, now I can go down. ठीक है, I can see the question and I can also see at least a little bit of the data. How simple is that? Okay, all right, let's look at the first question. Let's look at the first question. Okay, so create a column called math result that shows pass if the math score is 60 or above, otherwise show fail. Okay, I know again if it's pretty simple, but still then let's do that. Somebody has also already given me the formula. That was very quick. Okay, but still then let's do this for everyone. Okay, now the way that if works, okay, is pretty simple. Okay, if this, then this or that, as simple as that. Okay, so let's say you want to go to a movie hall. ठीक है, and you say कि अच्छा अगर अच्छी मूवी लगी है तो जाएंगे, नहीं तो वापस आ जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो अगर अच्छी मूवी लगी है, दिस इज द कंडीशन, तो जाएंगे. This is if this is true. If the condition is true, then do this. Okay, वरना वापस आ जाएंगे. ठीक है, then that is if the condition is false, then what do you want to do? Okay, pretty much the same thing. That is how if thing works. Okay, Hindi not understanding, no worries, no worries, no worries. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, is equal to if. Okay, so the first thing is test. If it is true, then what do you want me to do? And if this is false, then what do you want me to do? As simple as that. Okay, so what is the test that I need to score 60 or above in maths? Okay, so maths is right here, so I'll select this. Okay, needs to be greater than or equal to 60. And if this is correct, okay, then I want pass. And if this is not correct, I want fail. As simple as that. Okay, so if this is true, then pass. If not, then fail. Okay, close the bracket and done. Okay, of course, then all you have to do is just double click and that is done. Okay, so pass, pass, fail, pass, and so on. Okay, pretty basic, nothing too complicated here. But again, I know some of you need this. Done. Done. All right. Now let's move on to a little bit more complicated stuff. Okay. Let's move on to a little bit more complicated stuff. Okay. So choose a column called grade category that assigns grades based on maths formula text. I think people love formula text. Formula text, this one. Okay. Clear? So if this is this, then blah, 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 whatever. Nothing too complicated. All right. Let's continue. Okay, let's look at this right here. Create a column called grade category that assigns grade based on math score, 90 above excellent, 75 to this. Now, I will come to this at the end. Okay, I will come to this at the end. I will come to this at the end because it's slightly lengthy, but I want to show you more relevant stuff. Okay, I'll come to this at the end. Let's look at this one. Okay, create a column called eligible for honors roll that shows yes if both the conditions are met. If both the conditions are met, okay, math score is greater than equal to 80 and English score greater than equal to 80. Okay, now for the people who usually do this, okay, for the people who usually do this, I know how you do it. You do it in a nested manner. Yes or no? You would do something like this. Okay, ki acha if, okay, math score greater than equal to 80, comma, one more if. Yes or no? One more if, right? The better way to do it, okay, the better way to do it is use the and clause. Okay, now how do you use the and clause? It's very easy. Okay, now so I'm going to move a little bit right here. The maths, what do I want? I want maths and English. Okay, so I want maths and English. Okay, so I'm going to get some space. Okay, so let's focus this. Okay, is equal to if, okay, I don't know why it's not perfectly visible. Let me unfreeze the panes. Let me move it right here and freeze panes. Let's go ahead. Much better. Okay, is equal to if. Okay, now here I want to test. Okay, so the better way to use it is to use and. Okay, now what does this and thing do? Okay, let's first break it down. Let's first break it down. Okay, what is the question right here? Maths more than 80, English more than 80. Let's look at the first person, Alex Johnson. Maths more than 80, true, and English more than 80, that is false. Have both the conditions been met? True or false? Have both the conditions been met? True or false? Obviously false. Okay, so let's first understand this and thing. Okay, so if I do an and, okay, this is greater than equal to 80. Okay, and this is greater than equal to 80. Okay, what do you think the result of this is going to be? Okay, what do you think the result of this is going to be? False. Let me press enter and you get false right here. Okay, and if I double click on it, okay, so as you can see, this is also false. Why? Because this is less than 80. This is true because both of them are above 80. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, let me add formula text here. Formula text. Okay, pretty simple, nothing complicated at all. Okay, so now I want to add the if thing here as well. Okay, so how do I do it? Okay, if, okay, if this is true, then, oh, sorry, what did I want here? Honor roll. Okay, the thing is I want to show honor roll. Yes, the question is yes. Okay, yes if both conditions are met, otherwise I'll say no. Okay, yes if both conditions are met, otherwise no. Okay, so I'm going to say if this is there, okay, then say yes, okay, otherwise no. Okay, and didn't this save you the time and effort of not having to put a nested list? Yes or no? Okay, so much easier. Okay, so much easier. Clear? Should we go ahead now? Okay, so Why are we getting warning symbol? Ignore it, ignore it, ignore. All right, now let's go ahead. Okay, now the next thing here is, the next question here is, create a column called academic warning that shows warning if all three conditions are met. Okay, that shows warning if all three conditions are met. Okay, math score less than 60, English score less than 60, attendance less than 75. Okay, now in and you can put more than two conditions. Okay, so here I have put just two conditions. Okay, but of course you can put more. Okay, and how can you put more? Just put a comma and keep adding the number of conditions. Okay, now just imagine if here you had to write nested ifs, how complicated would that have become? Okay, and changing that is another pain, but this is obviously so much easier. Okay, I'm going to leave this as your homework. I'm sure you'll be able to do this one. I'm sure you'll be able to do this one. Is that clear? Okay. All right. Let's look at the last one. Let's look at the last one. Okay. So create a concept called need support that shows yes if any of those conditions are true, math less than 60 or English less than 60. Okay. Now, if any of these conditions are true, okay, you can do this one for your homework. This is pretty simple. Okay, you can do this one for your homework. Nothing that complicated. Okay, now for this one is if any of these conditions are true. Okay, so very simply what you have to do is instead of and just use or. Okay, is that complicated at all? I'm sure you can try. I'm sure you can try the fourth and the fifth one now by yourself. I'm sure you can try the fourth and the fifth one by yourself. Okay, now do you still need me to do the second one? Do you still need me to do the second one, or can you do it by yourself? Can you do the second one by yourself? Should I go ahead? आगे बढ़े? You'll do it yourself? चलो ठीक है. Good, 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 good. Great, great, great. Okay, great. Let's go ahead. Okay, now now here is something interesting. Okay, mail merge. I will not be doing mail merge today. Okay, but don't worry, I'll be showing you a lot of stuff in the next session as well. Okay, not today, but I'll definitely show you in some other time as well. Okay, now let's continue. Now, so this, if you couldn't do the homework, don't worry, you will definitely be able to do the homework. Okay. If you're not able to do the homework, just take the help of AI. Okay. Now, okay. So since somebody has already asked me the question, let me tell you how AI can help you. Okay. Let me tell you how AI can help you. Okay. So how can AI essentially help you in solving this question is, there are two ways. Okay, either of course you can take the entire data, but I never recommend taking the entire data. Okay, what I will recommend is just take the first column. Okay, just take the first column, and if you want you can take the second column as well. Okay, you don't need more than that. Okay, just take the first row or the second row of information. Okay, copy the question, go to your favorite AI tool, let's say ChatGPT, sorry, let's say Claude is my favorite. Okay, paste your question. Okay, sorry, paste your data and paste your question. Okay, this is my question. Okay, so I'm going to copy my question. I'm going to paste my question and I'm going to say, give me the if formula for it. Okay, as simple as that. Press enter. Okay, press enter and it will 100% give you the formula. Okay, so now I am sure anybody and everybody would be able to finish the homework. Yes, 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 perfect. What if we upload the whole document? You can. Honestly, you don't need to. Okay, you can, but you don't need to. Okay, all right, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so next thing that we have is count functions. Okay, very important, and this we really use a lot in terms of data analysis. Okay, so whenever you do any sort of data analysis, count if, sum if, is blank, and all of that are really important data. Okay, now while you can do all of this very simply with the help of a pivot table, and we'll come to that. Okay, but still then you should be aware of how to use formulas to get whatever you want. Okay, now let's look at the first thing right here. Okay, so let's look at the first thing. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, I hope everything is still visible to everyone. I know I have decreased the font size just a little bit, but is this visible to everyone? Yes, perfect. All right, let's continue. Okay, now the first thing here is count how many employees are in the sales department. Okay, so I should only be counting this person okay, and this person, and this person, and this person, okay. Thank you very much, Kunal. Okay, so count only if these conditions are true. Okay, so in this case, all I have to do is not just a regular count. I have to do a count if. Okay, so let's see. It's very simple. Okay, now should I actually show you how to do it with the help of AI? Should I actually show you how to do it with the help of AI? Okay, I'll just show you one or two. Okay, so that you get an idea. Okay, I'll just show you one or two examples so that you get the so that get an idea. Okay, now manual. People are like manual. All right, I'll show you both. Okay, don't worry, I'll show you both. Okay, now honestly, the best way to do it is to take a screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot right here, but I want to show you what kind of screenshot am I talking about. Okay, so what I would do is something like this. Okay, I would take a screenshot of how much area. Check it out. Okay, I'll take a screenshot from here to here. Okay, now why did I do this? Okay, why did I do this? So that I get the column names and I also get the row names. Is that clear? I get the column names and I get the row names. So basically, employee name is in A. Okay, department is in B, performance is in C, rating is in D. That makes my job so much easier. Okay, so when I do this, okay, and count how many employees are in the sales department, I'll come back to it. Let's open up a new chat. Okay, paste my screenshot. Okay, now this has my data. And now I can go back to this. I can copy my question, go back to this, paste my question. Okay, and now it basically has, everything. Okay, I should of course tell it to give me the formula. I should ask it to give me the formula. But give me the formula. Let's go to ChatGPT. Let me take one more screenshot. Sometimes it hit limits anyways. Okay, so taking this, okay, going to ChatGPT, pasting this, okay, going, which is why you should know how to write a formula, which is why you should know how to write a formula, because someday AI will tell you, oh, sorry, you have hit your limits. Anyways, let's go ahead. Okay, I don't need this. Pressing enter. Okay, although you can do it manually. Okay, did the image get uploaded or not? Yes, the image also get uploaded. Okay, let it analyze. I should still again say, give me the formula. Give me the Excel formula. Okay, see, which is why you should know how to do stuff manually as well, because it's Anyway, chalo theek hai. Let it do it stuff. Till then, I will also solve it myself. Okay. So very simply, in this case, what we need is what we need. You only updated the screenshot. How is it taking the data as well? No, no, no. So it's basically reading the screenshot, na. It's basically reading the data from the screenshot. It's reading the data from the screenshot. And as you can see, I have no idea what this has done. Give me the Excel formula for this. Why is it giving me the answer? Give me the Excel formula for this. Okay, so now as you can see, this is giving the formula count if B2B sales. Okay, so count this thing if it is equal to sales. This is essentially my formula. Count if this is my range if this is equal to sales. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back right here. Okay, is equal to count if. Okay, what is my range? My range where I'm checking is this. Okay, this is the range where I am checking. Okay, comma, and what does it need to be? It needs to be sales. Okay, I'm pressing enter. So here I have 4 because of course 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, no, because the use of AI is not to generate formulas. Okay, the use of AI is not to generate formulas. But again, like I said, because I'm starting from the very beginning, which is why I'm showing these simple examples. But as we go ahead, you will see that we can do very complicated stuff with the help of AI. Okay, but again, I'm building it from the very basics. All right, now I'm sure you can do this one. ये वाला मैं homework छोड़ दूं. Okay, count how many employees received a good rating. I'm pretty sure you guys would. Let me add the formula text. Formula text. Okay, pretty simple. ChatGPT gave the answer wrong. No, ChatGPT actually gave the answer right. ChatGPT gave the right answer. The reason why it gave the wrong answer is because I only gave it this much data, and I did not give it the entire data. Because again, I don't want to give my entire, I just want the formula. Okay, which is why. Clear? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys would be able to do this one. Okay, I want to show you another one. Count how many employees are in HR Okay. Count how many employees are in HR, and what about case sensitivity? Let's check it out. Somebody asked a very good question. What about case sensitivity? Let's check it out. Okay. So here, literally, all I have to do is I have to put, instead of sales, let me put it all capital. Okay. ALES. Okay. And it's still working. So clearly not case sensitive. Okay. So we don't have to worry too much about it. Okay. If you ever have a question, just experiment. Now let's continue. Now, count how many employees are in HR and got a good rating. Okay. Count how many employees are in HR and got a good rating. Now, somebody also asked me a very good question. What if we wanted to be case sensitive? That's a good question. That's a good question, but try asking ChatGPT, if I wanted to be case sensitive, then what should I do? Okay, you can try that. But let's focus on this one. Count how many employees are in HR and got a good rating. Okay. Now here, see, whenever we have a single condition, whenever we have something singular versus whenever we have something plural. Okay, so when we say dog, it means one dog. Okay, but when we say dogs, we have multiple dogs. Similarly, because here we have multiple conditions. Okay, similarly here, because we have multiple conditions, count if is not enough. Okay, count if is not enough, we have to use count ifs. Okay, so very simply, let's check it out. I'm going to freeze panes right here. Okay, freeze pane. So I'm sure everybody understood why I did this freeze pane. Somebody also gave me a very nice answer of using and. Yes, that is also true. You can also use and as well. See, now people are understanding how to use the previous formula going ahead also. Yes, you can absolutely use and function as well. Yes, perfectly right. People are now obsessed with the and function. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, count how many employees are in HR and got a good rating is equal to count ifs. Okay, so are in HR, so from here till here. Okay, and criteria range 1, and what is the criteria? The criteria is that they should be in HR. Okay, comma, what is the criteria range 2? This is the criteria range 2, and what rating should they get? They should get good rating. Okay, close, enter, and here we have two people. Okay, because we can see HR good, Bob is good at this, Fiona HR poor, not good at this, Ian HR good. So we've got only two people. Okay, now somebody also gave me the and function also, so I'm going to copy it right from this and I'm going to paste it right here. So I'm going to use this one also. Oh, it did not get copied. So I'll just type it out. Is equal to count if and you have to put the other thing also now. B2 to B11, sorry, B11. This needs to be equal to HR. Okay, comma. Sorry, I made a small mistake. Okay, comma. C2 to C11 needs to be equal to good. Okay, and then if this is correct, then I need this to be true. 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 Let's check this out if this works. Is it working? It's not working. Count if. So in this case, what I'll do, I'll go back to this. I'll ask it, what's the error here? Okay. If in case your formula never works, just put it in any of this. Count if doesn't support logical and function. Okay. So very clearly, I cannot do this thing right here. Okay. I cannot do this right here. So we have to go back and we have to use the regular thing only. Is that clear? Is that clear? Why are you using double quotes? Whenever you have these things that you are comparing this, okay, you should have, whenever you are using strings or comparing words or sentences, you should use double quotes. That is much better. Clear? Okay. Now I want to show you just one final thing in counting part. How can I get a value which is not good? How can I get a value which is not good? In this case, so not is done by something like this. Okay, this thing, greater than, less than, greater than, less than. Okay, so when you do this, where am I making a mistake? Greater than, less than, that's correct. Let's figure this out. Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, what's wrong with this? Ah, I should put this inside it. Okay, I should put this inside it, as you can see. So, okay, and done. How simple is it? Okay. So of course, sometimes you make mistakes, and when you make mistakes, this is the way you can get it done very clearly. Okay. But yes, that's a good question. That's a good question. Okay. Anyways, so I just want to show you one final thing in count part. Okay. How do you count blanks? Because again, this is also very useful whenever you're doing any sort of data hygiene, data checking, or for any sort of data analysis, you always want to find out, okay, bhai, how much data is. Yes, yes, Santosh, I'm seeing your messages. Santosh, I'm seeing your. Ria, what is your question? I'm sorry if I missed it. What is your question? Ria, what is your question? I missed it. I missed it. कोई बात नहीं, फिर से बोल दो. Okay. Anyways, so counting blank cells is also very important, especially because sometimes you have to see ki acha how good formula text for countifs. Okay, formula text for countifs is equal to formula text and this right here. Okay, so in this case I've done not good, but let me change that. Okay, this is what the formula was. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want to show you is how can you use blank is how can you count blank functions. Okay. So basically between here to here, how many values are missing? Okay. How many values are missing? Okay. So in this case, it's pretty simple. Okay. So is equal to count. You will notice that count has a lot of things. Okay. Count, count a, count blank, count if, count ifs, and all of that. Okay. If you want to just count blank, just select this count blank. Okay, and just select all of this. Santosh, I've seen your message. I will definitely get back to you. Okay, at the end of the session. Now just select all of this right here, the first data to the last data, and close it, and you're done. Okay, so this will also tell you how many blank cells do you have. Is that clear? Pretty simple, nothing too complicated at all. Okay, but a very simple function, but it's still very useful because sometimes I have to see acha, which person has not given the feedback. Yes, you can also do this also. Count if it is blank. Yes, you can do that also, Shanu. So sometimes I have to do this because I have to see ki, acha, which things are missing, which is no, Sushil, I can see your message as well. Guys, I cannot keep replying to individual messages because then I'll not be able to do it. uh, what to do in the previous table if duplicates exist. We'll take that also. We'll take that also. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. Now, I just want to quickly finish up, guys. Let's focus. Let's focus. Let's focus. So I want to finish up to pivots and then we'll take a break. Okay. Let's focus. I want to finish up to pivots and then we'll take a break. Let's focus. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Now, so here we have, how can we get the percentage if any employee I have to allocate? I'll answer your question. Guys, I'll answer each and every question, not right now because, we need to get going. All right, let's focus. So here we have something, okay? So we have employee department bonus year, okay? What is the total bonus? What is the total bonus? Let me move this here, okay? What is the total bonus for the sales department? Focus. What is the total bonus for the sales department? Okay, so basically I need to add this, but only when it is equal to sales. Okay, now when we did it in the previous case, when we did count, okay, now in this case count we cannot use because when we are not trying to count how many people are in the sales department. Okay, we are trying to sum if some condition is met. Okay, so very simply, let me show you this. So how do you use sum if? Again, guys, if you do not know how to use this formula, I just showed you the trick. Take a screenshot, put it in GPT, okay, and ask it, give me the Excel formula on how to do this thing. Okay, very simply, you will get the formula. But how do you do that here as well? So you do is equal to sum if. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, let's look at the formula a little bit for a little bit. Okay, range, criteria, and sum range. Okay, so the first range is basically where we are putting the criteria, on what we are putting the criteria. Okay, you want me to zoom in a little bit? Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, uh, is equal to sum if. Okay. Now, where do I want to put the criteria? I want to put the criteria right here. Okay. What is my criteria? My criteria is that this should be sales. Okay. And if that criteria is met, what do I want to add up? Okay. Which column do I want to add up if that criteria is met? Okay. From here to here. Okay. Guys, I want to ask you, was it difficult at all? Okay. Was it difficult at all? Okay, pretty simple. Yes or no? Yes or no? Somebody just mentioned that somebody felt that this was getting slightly complicated. But again, guys, don't worry. Thoda sa practice karo. It will be very easy. Okay, and let me, press enter. Okay, and as simple as that. Okay, now now I know this was slightly complicated. This is definitely new for a lot of you. Okay, but the more you practice this, the easier this is going to become. Okay, now can you guys do the second question by yourself? Should I leave the second question as a homework for yourself? You guys already have this Excel. I've already given the link at the very beginning of the session. Okay, you guys can definitely do it. Okay, and can I leave the third one on you as well? Now here, no, I'll do the third one. No worries. I'll do the third one. Okay. Now here what we have, let me put the formula text. People love formula text. All right. Now let me put the thing right here. What is the total bonus paid to the sales department in the year 2025? Okay. Now here what we have, here we have two conditions. Okay. So very simply, sum if changes to sum if changes to sum ifs. Oh, not sum if and. People are obsessed with and now. No, no, no. No, now we are going to use sum ifs. Okay, so very simple. Okay, again, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so I'll put the formula text below this. Formula text below this. Okay, let's start. Is equal to sum ifs. Okay, let's start. What is the first thing that is asking me? The first thing that it is asking me is the sum range. Okay, so what is my sum range here? What do I want to add up? Okay, correct. The C column. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is my sum range, comma. On what range do I want to put the first criteria? Okay, of course we have multiple criteria, correct. The first criteria I want to put here, of course I could have used the other one as well, that is also fine, no worries about it. Okay, what is the criteria? It should be sales. Okay, comma, criteria range 2. What is the range on which I want to put the second criteria? I want to put the second criteria right here. Okay, comma. Okay, now here is something important. Okay, we only use double quotations when we are comparing words or sentences or strings. We don't need to use double quotations when we are using numbers. So I can directly write 2025. Okay, closing it and enter. Is that clear? Okay, was it difficult at all? I know when you would have looked at it, it would have looked complicated, but is it complicated now at all? Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now, all of this can be done so easily with the pivot table. Okay. All of this can be done so easily with the pivot table, you would not believe. Okay. We are going to come to that. Okay. We are going to discuss pivot table as well. But before I start with pivot table, how many of you were afraid of pivot table? Again, I know we have some Excel experts in the house as well, but how many of you were afraid of pivot table? I am seeing a lot of me. I know. When I used to learn Excel, okay, trust me, when I used to learn Excel, I used to think VLOOKUP ho jayega, my life would be successful. Okay. And then when I learned VLOOKUP, I used to think pivot table ho jayega, my life would be successful. Okay. And now that I can do VLOOKUP and pivot table, I like to think, अच्छा अगर filter हो जाएगा, array functions हो जाएगा, VBA हो जाएगा, then my life will be successful. My life has not been successful in terms of VBA yet, but I'll still show you how you can write VBA code as well. Okay, so very quickly, we'll discuss pivots right now. Okay, are you guys ready? And would you guys like to see how simple it is to do absolutely everything? Yes, all right. Let's get started. Okay. Now, A couple of suggestions before we move on to pivot table. Okay, before we actually do stuff, a couple of suggestions. Okay, the first suggestion is whenever you are working with pivot table now, convert your data, convert your data into a table. Convert your data into a table. It just helps a lot. Okay, it just helps a lot. uh I'm going to zoom in, don't worry. Okay, convert your data into a table. It just helps a lot. Okay, so in Mac I have to press command T. I am guessing in Windows also you have to press control T to convert it into a table. Okay, so I don't know where to click to get that. Okay, but in case of Mac I just have to put command T or control, or in case of Windows you have to put control T. Okay, so I'm going to put command T. Okay, and here is something important that you should always look at. Okay, the first thing that you should look at is, let's read this. Okay, it's important, let's focus this. Okay, where is the data for your table? Okay, so A1 to F, so A1 to F20, I cannot zoom this particular thing. Okay, so A1 to F21, yes, from A1 to F21, yes, here is where my data is. Okay, just in case it gets something wrong, okay, you can actually select this manually as well. Okay, just in case it picks it slightly wrong, you can put this manually as well. Okay, select it, press enter. Okay, now here's the second important thing that you should always focus, because I see a lot of people making mistakes. I cannot unfortunately zoom in on this, you'll have to bear with me. Okay, my table has headers. Headers simply means names. Okay, headers simply means names, nothing else. Okay, since my table does have headers, so I'm going to click it. Okay, so I'm going to select it. Okay, and this is as simple as it. Okay, now as you can see, this has, this is looking slightly different. Okay, because this has now converted into a table. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, don't worry about tables too much right now. Difference between tables and pivot table, I'll tell you that right now. Just give me a moment. Okay, so don't worry too much about tables right now. Of course, we are going to discuss this in detail. Okay, because tables are really important and really useful. Okay, we're going to come to that as well, but let's focus on this. Okay, now how do you insert a pivot table? Okay, how do you insert a pivot table? Click anywhere inside your table. Okay, click anywhere inside your table and go to insert. Okay, click anywhere inside your table, click on insert. Okay, and clearly, where should I click to insert a pivot table? It's very obvious, very obvious. Okay, I just need to click on this pivot table thing. Okay, I literally just need to click on this pivot table thing. So let me click on this pivot table thing. Okay, now one more thing. Okay, now typically whenever you add a pivot table, I know some of you are getting कि भाई pivot table क्या होता है? Pivot table is just something that you use to analyze. बस pivot table is just used to analyze stuff easily. इतना ही है. I'll tell you that. Just give me a moment. Okay, pivot table used to analyze it quickly. खत्म. Okay. Now, so this is what I want, but I don't want to put my pivot table in the next sheet. I want to put the pivot table right here. Okay, I want to put the pivot table in this sheet only. Okay, so I'm going to put the pivot table right here. Okay, don't worry too much about it. Don't worry too much about it. I just want to get all the data right here. Okay, so let me press OK. Now, so right now my pivot table is a blank. Okay, right now I have nothing on my pivot table. Right now I have nothing on my pivot table. Okay, let's look at the questions one by one, and trust me, give me just two questions and the third question you will be solving it. Okay, let's focus. Let me zoom in on the data for just 1 minute. Okay, let me zoom in on the data for just 1 minute. Okay, so we have got employee name, department, region, month, product, sales amount. Chalo theek hai. Okay, so we've got Alice, department, Alice, Bob, whatever, region, month. Chalo theek hai, jo bhi hai, XYZ. Okay, now all right. Now, so here we have a couple of things. Here we have some questions, because whenever you have to analyze something, you actually have to look at the data. You have to do some plus minus calculation and all of that. Okay. So let's focus here. What is my question? How to don't worry about how to create the pivot table. I'll show you that. Achha, chalo, let me show you. It won't take me more than a minute. Okay. Again, so how do you create a pivot table? Okay, so again, let me show you how do you create a pivot table. Nothing too complicated at all. Let me delete this. Okay, so just click anywhere inside the table, go to insert and click on pivot table. Okay, existing worksheet, choose where to put the pivot table. I want to put the pivot table right here, so I'm going to press it anywhere in this cell. Okay. Now don't worry about how to create it, don't worry too much about it. Okay, focus on what am I doing right here. Now, the first thing that I want to find out is total sales amount by department. Total sales amount by department. Okay, let's imagine this for a second. Okay, so I want department names and I want sales. Now, do you want departments vertically or do you want departments horizontally? What makes more sense to you? Departments horizontally, okay, by sales, IT, blah blah blah, or sales, then IT, then this, then that. What makes more sense? Okay, obviously vertically makes more sense. Okay, vertically makes more sense. So where does this go? So where does department go? Anything you want vertically goes on the rows part. Okay, anything you want vertically goes on the rows part. Anything you want to go horizontally goes on the columns part. As simple as that. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Now, anything you want to calculate, okay. Now, anything you want to calculate, that goes in the values part. Is that clear? Was that too difficult? Okay. Anything vertically, rows. Anything horizontally, columns. Anything you want to calculate, values. Khatam. As simple as that. Was that difficult at all? Okay. Now you can do it so easily. Okay. All right. Let's do this now. Okay. So the first thing, total sales amount by department. Okay. So I'm going to take department and where am I going to throw it? So I'm going to pull the department and where am I going to throw it? Okay. Very simply, I'm going to pull it to rows. Okay, and now you can see that this has now very easily come into rows. Okay, now what do I want to calculate? Okay, I want to calculate sales. Okay, so let me look at sales. So I have this sales amount right here. Where do I throw this? I need to pull this to values. How easy was that? Now, is anybody else any more intimidated by pivot tables? How simple was that? Okay, now let's do one more. Okay, now the easier way to add one more pivot table. Okay, the easiest way to add one more pivot table is just to copy another pivot table. Okay, so I'm going to select this pivot table. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, so now I can edit this pivot table. Can we use count? Yes, of course we can. I'll show you that as well. Okay, let's focus on this thing. Okay, the first one is done. Total sales by amount by department, that is done. Khatam. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next question is sales by region and month. Okay, let's think of this now. I want sales by region and month. Let's format it. Okay, we have region and we have month. Region vertically or horizontally, month vertically or horizontally. How do you want to do it? Correct, region vertically, everybody's understood that. Okay, and month obviously horizontally. Was that difficult at all? Okay, and of course what goes in the value? Okay, the sales part goes in the value. As simple as that. Okay, so I don't want department, let's throw away the department. I don't want this, let's throw this away as well. Okay, I want region, so region goes right here, month goes right here, and sales goes right here. Okay, how clean, simple, and easy was this? Okay, this is where your data analysis part starts. Is that clear to everyone? How I have been building it from the very basics to the advanced? Is that clear? Okay, was this difficult at all? Very clear. Okay, all right, now I want to show you one more thing. Okay, I want to show you one more thing. Okay, so we have been using this count if and this sum if as well. Okay, let's go back to this count if thing for just one moment. Okay, now what was my first question? Okay, so what was my first question? How many employees are in the sales department? Let's focus. Okay, so using pivot table would make your job so much easy. Let's check it out. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so I'll just select this. Okay, if you were to do this using a pivot table, let's do this. Okay, so I can do one more thing. I can select the entire thing, convert it into a table. Okay, convert it into a table. Let me add a little bit more space. Okay. Now let's say I want in the sales department. Okay. So how do I insert a pivot table? Go anywhere inside the table, click on insert, click on pivot table. I want it in this worksheet. Okay. I'll click somewhere right here, press OK. Okay. Now what do I want? I want sales. I want basically department. So department goes where? Department goes in the rows. Okay. And what do I want to count? I want to count number of employees in this department. Okay. So now what goes where? Okay. So now employees goes into values. Is that clear? Okay. Tell me, how easy was this? How easy was this? Okay. Now let's say कि चलो ठीक है, I want to instead find out about the good rating thing, कि how many employees got a good rating. Okay. So now let's remove this department thing. Let's remove this employee thing. Okay. I want to find out कि अच्छा rating employees. Okay, so I can very easily see acha, good 4 employees got it, excellent 3 got it, average 2 got it, and so on. Okay, you want to filter this even further. Okay, just add department also. Okay, acha, okay. Average in HR, nobody got it. Excellent in HR, nobody got it. Good in HR, 2 people got it, and so on. Okay, no amount of count if or sum if or anything can do the calculation as fast as a pivot table can. Is that clear? Okay. So much faster using a pivot table, isn't it? Okay. But again, guys, like I said, you cannot use pivot tables everywhere. Sometimes you have to use formulas. So which is why I built it from that particular basic. Okay. All right. So we have pivot tables right here. Now, would you guys like to try the rest by yourself? Would you guys try the rest by yourself? I'm pretty sure you guys can do it. Okay. I'm sure you guys can do it. Okay. I will still do just one. Okay. I will still do just one. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. Highest sales month for IT department. I'll just do this one, then we'll take a break. Okay. Let's just do this one. Okay. Now again, I don't want, because I'm lazy. Okay. I don't want to again add the pivot table myself. I'll just copy this pivot table, copy it, paste it here. Okay. And I'll edit this. Highest sales month for IT department. Okay, so department I want IT. Okay, and I want sales. Oh, we already have it. I want highest sales month. So I want month also. We can put the month in this thing. Okay, but here I want to make a couple of changes. Okay, here I want to make a couple of changes. The first thing that I want to make a change is I don't want all departments. ठीक है भाई, मेरे को ये चाहिए ही नहीं. Okay, I only want to see IT. So I need to filter the data by IT. Okay. Now, very simply, if I want to filter the data by something, where should I put it? Correct. I need to put it in the filter part. Okay. So now the department should directly go to filter. Okay. How does this change? How does this change? Okay. The month should go right here. Okay. Because now this looks much better, isn't it? Okay. Check this out. This looks much better now. Okay, I still need the highest month. We'll come to that in just 1 second. Okay, I still need to come to the highest month in IT. Okay, now since I want only in IT instead of department all, I just need to select IT. Okay, and now I can very easily see this. अच्छा नहीं समझ में आया? चलो let's do this once again. कोई बात नहीं, let's do this once again. Let's do this once again. I know, I think this went a little bit fast. Let's do this once again. Okay, I want highest sales months for IT department. ठीक है, so sales definitely goes in the values part. Okay, month definitely goes in the rows part. Okay, and I only want IT department. Okay, I don't want the rest of them. So I need to filter my data by IT department. Okay, so department goes in the filter part. Is that clear? Okay, so I need to filter by IT department. I want all months and I want the value of sales. Okay, so we have got this. Okay, so we've got department IT, row labels, this. Okay, now one more thing that you can absolutely do. Okay, one more thing that you can absolutely do is you can arrange this. How do you arrange this? Okay, so very simply go on this row labels. Okay, and I want to do a descending order because I wanted this now. I wanted highest. So click on descending and sort by sales amount. Okay, descending, sort by sales amount. Move away, and now this is sorted by sales. Is that clear? Was it too difficult? कोई बात नहीं. See, you do need to practice. People are like break. All right, I'll give you a break. No worries about it. Okay. Now you do need to practice. Okay. बिना practice के देखो नहीं होगा. Okay. Just because if you see a musician playing a guitar, okay, you still need to practice to, to be able to play that fast and that good. I have been practicing Excel for years now, which is why I can do this still fast, but still you do need to practice. Okay. But जितना किया उतना clear है. जितना किया उतना क्लियर है. Yes, yes. All right. Now let's set the expectations for the rest of the session very quickly. Okay, let's set the expectations for the rest of the session very quickly. Okay, most likely I will continue the session after the break for about 30-40 minutes. I don't think we should go on for 1 hour because I don't think a lot of people would be able to take it. Okay, so after the break we'll probably take the session for about 30-40 minutes. I still, of course, have a lot to cover. Okay. And of course, if you guys want, you can practice it by yourself as well, because I have given you a lot. Okay. I have given you a lot, so no need to worry about it at all. The team will put the link in the chat once again, just in case if anybody has not downloaded it. Okay. You will get it as well. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a break for 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is pretty good. Okay. I'm going to give you a break for 10 minutes. I'm also going to show you my LinkedIn, just like I always do. Anybody that wants to add me on LinkedIn, I am more than happy to add each and every one of you. Okay, so 10 minutes ka break. Go have some water, have some food, whatever you're doing. Okay, 10 minutes ka break, and after that, come back. We'll take a session for about 30-40 more minutes. Okay. All right, let's get rocking. Chalo guys, break for 10 minutes. Here's my LinkedIn. You guys have 10 minutes on your own clock. Okay, I'm going to open up a clock at my end here also. Timer 10 minutes. And I'm going to play some music. Okay. Now, like I